Hey, Matt from Wade Health Synergy. Saw an interesting question, kind of a funny question on Quora. And the question is, what diet should be followed to become fat? So they're actually asking, how do I get fat? Which is like the polar opposite to most questions I get, to what most people want. And that's, how do I lose weight? How do I lose fat? How do I get rid of being fat? But maybe what I thought about after I had my chuckle was, maybe there's a key there to flip that and get the answer to how to not be fat. Maybe in answering the question of how to become fat, we reveal the best answer of how not to be fat. So let me cover my initial response to that. If I wanted to become fat, what would I do? Easy. I'd eat a super high carb, low fat diet. Exactly what most of your doctors and nutritionists, what the dietary guidelines for a lot of governments are, what they tell you to do to be healthy is actually what's making you fat. And yet people keep eating that way. They get fat, they get obese, they feel like crap, and they keep doing more of the same. It's like the definition of insanity, you know? You keep repeating the same thing, expecting different results. And so to become fat, eat a lot of carbs, especially processed carbs, a lot of grains, a lot of breads. You want to get lots of that. You want to get a lot of bread, pastries, all your grains, really good to get you fat. If you want to, widen your waistline, get plump, eat the grains, eat the breads, eat processed foods, eat as refined foods as you can. So, like especially high sugar, your pop, your candy, a lot of high fructose corn syrup products. You want to eat a lot of that. That'll make you fat really quick. You want to eat processed cereals, boxed cereal, almost all of it, really helpful in getting fat very quickly. So by all means, buy a lot of that. You want to, have the Jerry Seinfeld kitchen. You want a whole shelf full of boxed cereal. Eat the really sugary stuff too. High sugar, high fructose, and high fat. And, if you want to really help in not just getting fat, but really impact your health, a lot of coloring, a lot of chemicals, a lot of stuff you can't even pronounce on the box. Make sure that's all in there too. It's not hard to find. Most of those have that in it. So there's that. For drinks, as I touched on, pop, soda pop, juice, unless you're drinking fresh squeezed fruit juice, which even then you might want to restrict that. But basically anything bottled, canned, frozen, whatnot, juice. People think juice is healthy. It's not. It's more processed sugar. The sugar came from something that wasn't too bad to begin with. But that's actually where sugar itself comes from, granular white sugar. Comes from sugar cane, which isn't too bad to begin with as a plant. We refine it, and then it becomes awful and debilitating to our health. And that's what happens with a lot of these fruit juices is once you've refined it, you basically just taken the sugar out. You might as well be drinking Kool-Aid or soda pop because it's all the same to your body. It's refined sugars. What else can you do? Sedentary lifestyle. You can do that diet, high carb, low fat. Well, let's touch on the low fat there. You want to make sure you got very low fats in your diet. It's a quick way to get fat is to not eat fat. Also a quick way to lose your health because your body functions very well off a high degree of good fats. Your brain does. And so if you don't eat a lot of fat, it's going to clog up your heart, clog up your arteries. It's going to make you diabetic. It's going to bring on a host of modern day diseases, whether it's cardiac related and your heart related, whether it's things like MS and diabetes and all these things. I mean, even Alzheimer's is now being classed as type 3 diabetes. It's a disease of blood sugar and glucose. Too much refined sugars, refined food. So that's how you become fat. Combine that with a sedentary lifestyle. Watch a lot of TV. Don't get off the couch. Don't move too much. Maybe order in all your meals. Have somebody cook them for you. Try not to move as much as possible. In other words, if you could stay perfectly still around the clock, That'll get you fat really quick. So there's how we get fat. That's the answer to how to become fat, the diet you should follow, and also the lifestyle. Don't exercise. So if we take that, though, because it's sort of tongue in cheek, but a lot of truth in there. And if we flip that upside down, we have the answer to how not to be fat, how to lose weight effectively, to be healthy and regain our health and well-being. And that is essentially to eat a higher protein and higher fat, lower carbohydrate diet, eliminate all grains and breads and starches from our diet, and basically eat good fats, good proteins, fruit and vegetables. And if you are suffering from a period of time of eating poorly that you have bad insulin sensitivity, like actually myself, my insulin sensitivity is not good. So you want to be very low carb, and you want to really watch that. You want to go on more of a keto diet. If you're not as prone to insulin sensitivity, then perhaps the paleo diet might be better for you, where you're eating lean meats, lean fish, and fruits and vegetables. It's a very good way to eat. I think that we should have more fat in our diet than perhaps paleo would naturally call for. So I think somewhere in the middle between keto and paleo is probably the sweet spot. And certainly if you have a insulin sensitivity, if your blood sugar levels go up, if you're pre-diabetic, if you're not really good with carbs, which a lot of us aren't and don't even realize it, then you might want to look at being more on the keto side and on the really low carb, higher fat percentages, moderate protein, and low carb. But there we go. That's how we can become fat quickly, what diet should be followed to become fat, and then what we can learn from that by flipping it on its reverse, by turning it upside down. And we have the answer then to how not be fat and how to be healthy and regain our health and have that weight health synergy that we're looking for, and that's hence the name of the channel. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Is there something I've missed on how to get fat quick? I think I covered the bases. But if you're thinking of something else that would help, leave it in the comments below. And then conversely, how does that relate to if we don't want to be fat? Let me know. Let's discuss it. Interesting question. And thanks for tuning in. We'll be back soon here at Weight Health Synergy.